Right then, it's a walk-around video for a Honda CR-V 2-litre ES manual. This is quite a special car actually, and very rare for all the following reasons. It's just had the one owner from new. It's been serviced 13 times, and it's covered just 33,900 miles. It is in beautiful condition. This is not going to be the cheapest CR-V in the country, far from it, but when you add up all those things, it's going to appeal to a certain type of buyer, myself included, and we have a happy following for them, fortunately. Front of the car, really clean, lights and lenses clear and intact. Bonnet of the car, very, very clean indeed. Can't see any obvious marks on there. Near side of the car, very smooth down the flanks. No car parking indentations that are immediately obvious. Near side front alloy, the one that generally takes all of the bashing, hardly a mark on there. Near side rear again, pretty much blemish free. These are vintage where alloys were really good quality, so they always hold up very well. Coming around the back, bumper corners really crisp and clean. There's an odd entry mark. I mean petty, the thing's 15 years old, never believed that. Offside, driver's side, again, just so crisp down the panel work. That's been kept away from other parked cars right at the start. Offside rear, beautifully clean. The remaining panels, absolutely lovely. This is the final alloy, and it really is an exquisite car. It's going to have the odd tiny little mark somewhere on the vehicle, but in all honesty, it's probably the best you'll see. Come to the boot area. Nice to see it's got its full complement of original equipment. So you've got the tonneau cover, you've got the middle shelf, which I've never found a use for personally. They do hinge up, and you can pop them onto the bottom, and they fit into a recess, so it only takes about an inch of the boot space away. And you've got a load liner fitted, which obviously kept the carpet like new underneath. Coming to the back of the car, absolutely cavernous in the back. And this is where the kids sit, and generally very heavily used. It's nothing to do with build quality, it's just general wear and tear. You've got the half leather Alcantara interior, and yet it looks like family members or friends being banished from the back, because it is in absolutely astonishing condition really. Coming to the front and the passenger side, full set of original tailored CR-V mats, and front passenger seat again, like the rears, being kept in fantastic condition. Finally coming to the front, driver's door card, like others, very, very clean. Same footwell area, really nice. Driver's seat, you'd never believe that seat was 15 years old. Inside the car now, engine's running and the dashboard's illuminated. Dashboard again just looks like new, incredibly clean. So free of clutter compared to modern cars, it really is. There's a dash binnacle there, one of the nicest you're going to look at. 33,909 miles, engine's running, and of course there's no warning light shown at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack, lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. But then this is a road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2-litre ES. Car is registered PY10NYT, and mileage at the start of the video is a scarcely believable but entirely true 33,909 miles. The reason we do our videos, and especially actually this road test section, is just to make sure that if anyone's online looking at any of the cars we're selling, they get to see that very car in operation. We've always felt it important, simply because like lots and lots of people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in a photograph or a description, but only to get there and find out actually it's got an obvious fault that shows up when you drive the car, and that can be really frustrating if you've driven any kind of distance, of course. Road test is also done on these very quiet country roads. It's a beautiful part of Gloucestershire, and this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, and the hope is, of course, it'll be representative of what you'd actually feel yourself should you go on a drive from the car. So coming to the car, as you'll know, one owner, ridiculous service history. It should drive well, and it doesn't disappoint in any way. Twist the key, engine starts instantly and settles to completely smooth, even idle.
There are no warning lights on the car at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. And temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda car. Honda have a reputation for building, and a deserved one, a reputation for building the best four-cylinder engines in the world. It is the most reliable, longest lasting engine in its class with good regular maintenance. It's cam chain driven, so there's no cam belts to have to worry about. But more than that, it's just how it drives. It's a beautiful engine. It's flexible, it's economical, but it's got power should you need it. So if you keep your foot down, because whereas most engines, especially in a car like this, they might say 6,000 RPM red line in the car, but within 1,500 revs of that, your ears have been assaulted by not just noise, but the sound they make. But when you put your foot down on a Honda car, you generally get a very muted induction noise, which you can hear there. But as it pulls through, it just pulls through so sweetly. It is a beautiful piece of engineering. Engine then feeds through into the clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the car, perfect. Bike point's exactly where it's meant to be. And the pedal's nice and smooth in operation. And then you come to another one of Honda's great gearboxes. First of all, the position of the gear lever, your hand just falls so naturally to it. It's not down here. Now I'm just sort of twist your body to select gears. And unlike a lot of cars in this class, they seem to think that because you've got an SUV, you've got to have a clunky truck-like gearbox. Honda don't subscribe to that, so what you've got is something that would go in most other manufacturers' sports cars. It's short in throw, it's snappy in action. It's a lovely gearbox to use. I'm guessing that Land Rover's indicators don't work, but anyway. But it's an absolute peach of a gearbox to use, because it's one you enjoy using rather than just feeling as though you have to. And it feels exactly as it would have done when it was new. There's just zero wear in it. Moving on to the steering and chassis, CR-V's always been a nice car to drive. It is very, very car-like in the way it drives, and that's the best compliment I can give it, because it's defying physics in some way, because it's a tall car. What a lot of road testers fail to understand, I think this is genius actually, as clever as some of their sports cars chassis are. But for different reasons. They most complain, they're a bit boring to drive, like most SUVs, a bit dull. Well, yes, they are. There's no getting away from it. They're nice to drive, but they're not exciting. But they're not meant to be. What it's meant to do is doing what it's doing right now, which is riding incredibly comfortably. But when you get through a corner like this one here, a bit yumpy, you're going to turn in, steering's lovely pointed, chassis doesn't flounder around. Because the problem with lots of SUVs is, especially with this vintage, to get a ride as comfortable as this, they have to go over very soft springs, which is fine when you go in a straight line, but as soon as you come to any corners, tight ones, quick ones, they lollop apart with that horrible secondary motion, which is particularly nauseating. But the CR-V's cleverness is the fact that it manages to retain such brilliant body control. If you're driving no more than 8/10, if you're driving on the ragged edge, then of course it's going to float around, but that's by the by. Steering tracks dead straight, no vibrations at this speed or any speed actually up to the legal limit. Suspension, no clonks, no rattles, nothing at all. Brakes in the car are very, very good indeed. There's no pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, which is the thing obviously we're looking at for most of all. And then finally coming inside, well, not quite finally, but pretty much. First things first, obviously it's in beautiful condition here, the ownership's been fantastic, but typical of the vintage, it's 15 years old and there's not a squeak or a rattle, and this is real world build quality. Some motoring journalists seem to think that if you get into a car and it makes a thuddy noise when the door shuts, or you've got lots of squidgy plastics around, that's a sign the car's well built. Anyone can make a car do that. Just put soft squidgy plastics in, put a clever hinge on the door and a bit of damping, and that's what you've got. What build quality to me is, at least, how does it feel in 5, 10, 15, 20 years time? And that's where the Japanese are brilliant. But also, the fact is, yes, you've got hard plastics, but this is designed for family use, so you spill things, knock things, you can just make them easy to clean, wipe down. It's brilliant design. What is lovely about the car is the fact that you've got fantastic visibility all around. You've got big wing mirrors, low bonnet line. It's a car you just get in and drive and not feel intimidated by in any way, shape or form. And you've got a dashboard which is really nicely laid out, and in complete contrast to modern cars where you get in, you scratch your head for about 20 minutes trying to work out how to select the radio station or change your fan speed. You've got a Fisher-Price style radio. Even an idiot like me can get in and just turn it on and select the radio station. Down below that, you've got a dual zone climate control system, so you can have different temperatures on either side. That also, by the way, pumps out absolutely ice cold air. We tried that in a nice warm workshop earlier on. All of the switchgear has a lovely high quality feel to it. Every button you press and knob you turn, twist or otherwise, it feels substantial and well made, and it is. It's not just a feeling. Heated seats work perfectly in the car, and then you've got your dash binnacle, which is so easy on the eye. Red needles for your gauges, blue background. It's lovely to look at, and it's so easy to take the information in. It is, I'd say, fantastic condition in here. This is a four-wheel drive version of the CR-V. There's no buttons, nothing to press, nothing to do, because basically Honda worked out donkey's years ago that most people be driving as I am right now, but I don't need four-wheel drive on, so it's a waste of time and energy. So basically it runs pretty much the whole time in front-wheel drive. Sorry, it's 3 degrees outside, a little warning chime just came on. So basically runs in two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive pretty much the whole time, and that is the most efficient way to pull a car along. Should it need to go into four-wheel drive, it'll do it itself, and more quickly than you could ever react, because it's done through the traction control system. So if your front wheels lose grip, it seamlessly brings in the rear wheels to give you four-wheel drive and disengages it when it no longer needs it, and it is very effective. The advantages of the system are very obvious. Of course, you're going to use less fuel, you're going to get through your tyres less quickly, and you put far less mechanical stress to the vehicle. It's not often I say a 15-year-old car drives like new, because it's such a horrible cliche and usually completely untrue, but in all honesty this one does. It drives absolutely beautifully.